I'm Sue London, and I want to welcome you to Ask Sue London. This is the show that helps people and pets cope, heal, and move forward. And I'm your host, Sue London, like I mentioned. Today, we have an amazing show, but before we get started, I want to encourage you to go to my website, asksuelondon.com, see everything that I've got going on. Also, mark your calendar for March the 11th at 4 p.m. And make sure you sign up for my newsletter because I'm going to be sending out information where I'm going to be doing a talk through Happy Buys. And during that, I'm going to help you all understand your pets and everything that's going on. And it's live, so you can ask me questions. So make sure you go to my website, asksuelondon.com, and subscribe to the newsletter, and you'll get those details coming out to you shortly. Now, today, our show is amazing, incredible, wonderful, and look how cute the both of these guys look, Annie and Prince. Now, why they're here with me today is that Annie and her husband Andrew were on quite an adventure. And I always say to you, listen to your intuition. When you feel like you need to go somewhere, there's a reason for it. So how I met Annie was that I was guided to go to a spa, the White Oaks spa in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada. And I went to this spa, and I specifically wanted to work with Annie. And that's, again, listening to my intuition. And I want you to encourage you to trust when you have these happen. There's always something big that will come out of it. And so anyways, I met her and she was doing this facial, and she'll tell you how much we did talk and connected. But what happened, I saw her and I saw this little angel, beautiful little girl walking behind her, cute blonde hair, little ringlets, and she was just following her mommy. Everything that mommy did, she did. But I saw it, I took note of it, and then this is where our adventure begins. So Annie, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you and Prince. And I want you to tell everybody the reason for me going to that spa was to have, of course, a beautiful facial with you. And it was the beginning of, oh my gosh, many years of our friendship, right?
Yes, yeah.
What are we talking? 10 years
So
maybe?
you came
10.
to me for a 90-minute facial,
Yeah.
and I've been an esthetician for over 20 years, and you came to me for a 90-minute facial. Usually nice and relaxing when we do like the massage and the scalp massage. But Sue and I ended up talking for a good, I think the entire hour and a half that we were chatting.
Right.
And you ended up telling me your vision, what you ended up seeing. And that's when I told Sue that my husband and I had been trying for years to have a baby, and we were having fertility issues. And unfortunately, we'd had, oh, at that point, I don't know if it was 6 miscarriages at that point, but it was still quite a few.
It was a lot.
And
Yeah.
I was at the point where I was giving, like, not giving up, but just feeling so disappointed and
Yeah.
not knowing why it wasn't happening. There was no scientific reason why it couldn't happen. I just,
Hmm.
my body was not holding on to them. Now
Hmm.
looking back, I'm like, it just wasn't the right time. I had to wait for the child that we have. And so yeah, we were just talking about anything and everything, and the hour and a half just flew by. And I think Sue, you ended up telling me like several times, you're meant to adopt, Annie. You're meant to adopt. And I was like, that's not the feeling that I have inside. And
Yeah.
um,
Well, and also, like, I mean, you did a lot of facials on me, right? Like
yes,
I was
over the
going back
years, yeah.
every 6 months sort of thing. And I was
Maybe
telling Annie the
more.
same. Was that?
Yeah, even maybe if it, like there's a couple of times where he came earlier than 6 months, like 2, 3 months, and yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of like I had to keep telling Annie, you need to adopt. Now, again, if you're watching this and you've got abilities, but you're not trusting them, I want to encourage you to trust them because I had to get through to this girl. You have to adopt. But that was the message I got, and I don't analyze it, and I just gave her that message.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward. Now we run into each other in Grimsby, Ontario, Canada, in a grocery store, not near our homes because we live close, right? We were
Yeah.
both at the same grocery store, and we literally, Andrew and Annie, walk around the corner, and Ross and I go around the other corner, and we literally meet. So, what's the chances of this, right? Tell everybody what news you had to tell us.
it's funny because we had just come by from Oakville. So we went to Oakville to adopt a puppy. And originally we had a different one in mind. It was a little Yorkie, but by the time we got there, it had already been adopted by someone else and just wasn't meant to be. And then the breeder ended up showing us these beautiful, pure little Maltese, and I fell in love with Prince. I couldn't put him down. The breeder even tried me to get to hold one of his sisters because he has two sisters, and they were cute, but I was like, no, it's not my Prince. He's the one. So he chose me and my husband,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
was just so cute and adorable with his little tongue that's too big for his mouth, that's always sticking out. But he just acts like a prince. And when we were holding him, he was so happy and looking at
Mhm.
his siblings and the other puppies and just acting like a prince, or it's so funny. And but I always say that he chose us. And when we saw you at the grocery store, we had just left the breeder in Oakville, and he was only 7 weeks old, so not even a pound. He was 0.9 of a pound at the time,
Mhm.
and then we had to wait another 3 weeks to officially bring him home. But it's funny that we saw
So,
you right after we decided to adopt
oh,
him.
right. Right. So then Ross and I go to the car and I said, Ross, now they're going to have the baby. Now she's going to get pregnant. She's going to be able to keep
Yeah.
the baby. This is the adoption I kept seeing. So then what happened after that?
After that, with him
Oh,
being
well,
at that
you
point,
you got pregnant how much later, right?
actually, very soon after
Yeah.
bringing Prince home, I got pregnant.
Mm,
I didn't realize it. I had no idea that I was pregnant. And then from the
mm,
years of like looking at your cycle, when your period may or may not come, being disappointed when it does, and you watch
mm,
everything. And everyone
mm.
used to always say, you want it too bad, that's why it's not happening, and which would hurt my feelings. And but then
Yeah.
taking care of Prince, because he was just a pound, was like taking care of a newborn. And at
Right.
night, he would wake me up every 2 hours to go pee because he was so little. His bladder was little. So it really was taking care of a newborn. I had lack of sleep, but he brought me so much joy. He brought my husband and I so much joy. And
Mhm,
then at Christmas, Christmas Eve, I found out I was pregnant. Hadn't even realized that I was late. And so I took a
mhm.
pregnancy test and it was positive. And that's when I put it in a little Christmas card, gave it to my husband, left it for him in his office, and then we found out that we were pregnant. And I was ecstatic. So miracles happen at Christmas. So first,
Right.
Prince was our first little gift from God, and then he brought our second
Your
gift,
lit
our little one.
and
Yeah,
your little one, is I know her and I
yeah,
know these people, and I want everyone to know that never give up hope because miracles and magic surround each one of you every day. I my jaw drops the things I've experienced for myself and for others. And I was so over the top excited. Both Ross and I were excited because Annie and Andrew are the most beautiful souls you could ever meet. And this dog is just her little angel for sure.
yeah.
And so, what would you say someone is in the place where, they're having a lot of miscarriages, things are happening, and what would you say that Prince did for you in order for you to get pregnant?
I just feel like he was my gift. He was my savior. He
Yeah.
really did take my mind off of everything. And then
Yeah.
I just felt so much more relaxed. I think that made a difference too, is not worrying about anything, not having time to think about anything else, really. Because
Yeah.
having a little puppy like that it really was like taking care of a newborn. And so he just helped me to relax. He was
Mhm.
very healing, calming, and I think that's how it happened.
Well, and
It
don't
was
they
quick.
say that too? Like I've heard a lot of people say that their doctors have told them take a trip or go away or, get
Mhm.
away from it. And so this is the healing power of pets in action, folks, because you've heard me talk about it on so many shows and so many talks I do that animals sense what we need. Here's Prince, his beautiful little puppy, and
Yeah,
he's so incredibly gorgeous. I just want to always hold him and
I know.
want to
He's
bring him
just too
home in my
cute.
purse every time I go.
I know.
And so this is just like incredible. And they ended up tell everybody the sex of the baby because they're going to go, well, is it a boy or a girl?
Yeah, we
And
had a little girl, but the whole time I was pregnant, I thought it was a boy. the whole time.
Yep.
And then until once I delivered and the doctor said, you have your little girl. So I was like, oh my God, we have our princess. I need Pink.
Yeah.
And her little best friend is Prince. They are like brother and sister. It is so funny.
Well,
Mhm.
and you know what's interesting for me, and you know this story, Annie, is that the little girl in the angel form that I saw when I would go to the spa was this little girl. So it was like she was showing herself before she came, so to help her mommy understand that when she came, look at I'm getting like a little teary-eyed, nose is running here, that I'm just looking back at everything that you've gone through and that we've,
It was
experienced. How
emotional.
yeah, yeah, it was
It was
just
very
incredible. And
emotional. That's the one
I
thing
feel
too.
I was gonna say, I feel when this happens to me, I'm feeling that there's gonna be a lot of people watching this and are going to cry. And if you're watching this, doing this, well, hey, get the tears out because that's very healing. And I'm doing it for you while I'm interviewing Annie. So,
Yeah.
you know, yeah,
Um, it's true. Well, it took us 8 years to have our daughter. So 8 years
yeah,
of tears, and every single moment, every single tear was worth it just to have our daughter. And but I
yeah,
really do feel like Prince was our first gift that helped me to
yeah.
relax and be calm and just be at peace. And then our daughter came along shortly after. So he really did
Mhm.
help us. Yeah.
So what was that message that I told you again? What was it you're supposed to do that you didn't do? What was it? What was the trick
Just
for this?
relax and let go.
And adopt, maybe adopt.
Oh, yes, adopt. Sorry, sorry. Yes.
Oh my,
You kept telling me to adopt. I'm like, no, I don't feel it in my heart. That's not what I'm supposed to
oh
do.
my I'm telling you, folks, there was not a harder time for me when I knew what she had to do. I didn't know adopt that meant a dog or a child,
Mhm.
but I was so adamant. Like I was losing sleep over this girl not adopting. So I am so glad that you adopted Prince because that was the game changer for the whole thing, right?
Mhm.
Now,
It really
we
was.
want to talk about what all else you're doing, but before we finish this topic, we've got somebody watching that they're in the same place where you were years ago. What do you want to say to them?
It'll
Somebody's
happen.
pregnant.
Don't give up. Don't give up. It will happen. Just not in our
Mhm.
time, in God's timing. We can't, I don't, it's always hard because we don't understand why we have to wait, but everything happens for a reason. And it's just
Mhm.
to enjoy the process as you go along and just not worry and just know that when the time's right, it will happen.
Right.
Mhm.
And like, when I look at Annie and her daughter, they're like two sisters. Like they are just like best friends. That this
It's my thing.
child is truly such an angel, right? And couldn't happen to a better couple. And I'm so happy for all of you because it's just been such like I see you guys are so much brighter and happier, and
Yeah.
it's complete now, right? Now,
Mhm.
so now let's fast forward. Now you have this beautiful child. Now this child's now in school. Hard to believe.
I know.
You
Time flies by.
I know, right? We feel old when this happens, right?
Yeah.
So tell everyone about your business, inspired by Annie.
So I was an esthetician for 20 years, and
Mhm,
I started Inspired by Annie so I can be with my daughter as well too. And
mhm,
so Inspired by Annie started off with me working with different stones, different crystals. So I do make beaded bracelets with all
mhm.
sorts of natural stones from the earth. Everything's natural, and
Yeah,
all stones help to balance our body. They can be calming. They can help
yeah,
to protect us from negativity. They can
mhm,
help with a mixture of things in the body. And like I was telling you the other day, how much I love rose quartz, for example. And rose
right.
quartz, I feel like every woman should have rose quartz because it's for love, joy, happiness, peace,
Mm.
harmony. And so all different stones have different benefits that actually help us in different areas of our lives. And so I started it with that.
Now, so we were talking yesterday. Can I share what's coming for you as far as your show?
Yes. Well, I don't know
And,
exactly when, but yes.
well, coming soon. Talk about
Yeah.
like the host putting the guest on the spot
Yeah,
here,
it's
right,
true.
folks? So you see her going red, but no. So this is something that Annie is going to
Yeah.
be doing as well, and it's going to be a great show. So when Annie gets her show going, then I'm going to be bringing her back so that she can kind of share some things with you around the benefits of these stones and how she incorporates them in the jewelry, because the stones are so healing for pets as well. And we'll talk about that
I
now.
actually
What
made
I
him a little,
uh,
I don't know if you can see. Let's show your little necklace here, Prince.
there
Yeah,
we
I actually
go.
made him
Yeah,
a little necklace, and it's a turquoise necklace, genuine turquoise. But I made it for
perfect.
him because it's calming, helps with anxiety as well too. And when you leave puppies at home for a bit, when you have to do an errand, they do get anxious, and they're looking forward for us to come back home. And so he
Right.
needed his own little necklace.
Exactly right. So now I want everyone to go to Annie's website to see the jewelry. She's got a makeup line, not makeup line, the skincare line,
Skincare, yeah.
right?
So
Right.
it's www.inspiredbyannie.ca, and
Okay. Perfect.
I have all different types of bracelets for protection, for calming, for healing, whatever catches your eye. There's a reason that you're attracted with what you're attracted to. And then I
Exactly.
recently added my other passion. Yes, we're always there's a reason. Always listen to your instincts, right? And then my
Right.
passion being an
Exactly.
esthetician for
Yeah.
20 years. I brought
Yeah.
a natural botanical skincare line, monastery made. And then I
Mhm.
also recently added London Town, which is a botanical nail care line that's 21 free. I love both of
Perfect.
these lines. They follow with what I'm all about in terms of natural and just doing things that are good for your body.
Perfect, perfect. So we're almost out of time, but I want to make sure that we mention that a lot of tourists come to Annie's hometown. Annie lives in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada,
Yeah. Yep.
and her husband and her own a cafe called
Ice cream.
ItalianIceCream.ca is their website, and it is amazing, amazing. So you want to look up those two websites, ItalianIceCream.ca. Go
Yeah.
into their cafe. You will see Annie, I'm sure. Her jewelry is there. You will meet, well, maybe they might meet Andrew, or maybe he's busy making the gelato, right?
Yeah.
And so you can see them, but you definitely want to, if you're going through stuff, Annie's the real deal. She will be honest and tell you everything you need to know, what you need. Her products is just amazing. And she's also a healer. We need to tell people that you are a healer as well. So you do help
Don't have to
people.
say
Yeah,
that.
give yourself credit, Annie. You're a healer. So again, those websites are inspiredbyannie.ca, right? And check that out. And again, like she says, you'll be drawn to what is right for you. And
Mhm.
I will let everybody know when her show starts. And because I know it's going to be amazing and it's going to help a lot of people. So
So
you've
look out
heard,
for the
guys,
Inspired by Annie podcast.
right? Exactly, right. So see, look at how committed I'm making this girl after I put her on the spot.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
I know, right? She's gonna kill me after this. I can just feel it. No, she's not. But anyways, I want to, I wanted to bring Annie on the show for you who may be going through similar challenges, and I want you to know that there is hope for you. An animal
Mhm.
in your life is literally going to create magical and miracles in your journey. So I encourage you, if you're going through this, I say the same message to you. Consider adopting. Okay.
Yeah.
And as you've seen what Annie did and what changed for her was just incredible. Annie, we are out of time.
I know. Okay.
I love you so much,
Love
and
you
we
too. It
will
was
bring
great
you
chatting
back
with you.
on. Yes, and Prince, give Prince a big hug for me.
Yes,
I
he's
still
such a
think I
cute
need to
boy.
bring him home to Auntie Stu's house. But
He's such a
that's
cute
it.
boy.
Folks, again, as a reminder, my website is asksulondon.com, and sign up for the newsletter and I'll send you the details about the March 11th talk I'm doing. And as always, check out Ask Sue London live events. They happen the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. That's on the website as well. And they're free, so check them out. And that's it for today. So on behalf of myself, Sue London, behalf of Annie, and Prince, and everyone else who has been part of making this show happen, we want to wish you much love and many blessings. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.